Good afternoon. Today, as you can see, instead of the standard lecture, we will be testing the results of some new research. And what is particularly special about this experiment is that it was devised by a member of your own class. Mr. Jeevda, will you demonstrate your new technique?
Thank you, Professor. I'm sure you've all noticed the dynamics when two or more people carry on a conversation. My research is concerned not only with the way in which they project their voices, but also with the emotional content of what they say. The technique I've invented involves the successful coordination of several well-known effects, namely color-coded imaging and age-old audio-video recording. It's quite simple, really, except that it was necessary for computers to become fast enough to where this process became feasible in real time. Consider people seated around a table conversing with one another. There's a main microphone centrally placed and several subsidiary microphones around the room. These are all patched into a processor, which feeds data into a main computer. A program then judges the direction of the spoken word, by whom it was uttered, and to whom it was directed. Once the conversation begins, the computer detects the words of the participants, analyzes their emotional content, and projects them on the video screen in various colors and shapes.
So you're trying to reliably interpret the true meaning of what people are telling you? Sort of like a lie detector?
Yes, but not so much a lie detector as an emotion detector. I'd now like to show you a still that I produced during the course of one of my experiments. This is a triangular conversation. Two people are seated laterally. One person's at the top. The man and woman seated across from each other had clicked instantly, hence the pink. The man seated at the uppermost apex of the cone is jealous and competitive about the other man's success with the woman. Notice the green. Applications for this technique are as endless as there are conversations. Interviews, legal depositions, political talks, just to name a few. True intentions can be objectively analyzed in real time. Why, this could signify the beginning of the end for diplomacy itself. Any questions?
So, you've only shown us a still image. What about the actual process that you described?
Yes. In fact, for that very purpose, I've invited 5 people here today to be the basis for a demonstration, and at this very moment are being prepped by my assistant. They've been told only that they're casual conversations to be recorded, but for this experiment, we won't hear any of the participants' voices. I've found that the sound of people talking biases one's perception of the picture art being generated. We all set?
Yep, they're all prepped and in place.
Excellent. So, if everyone's ready, I'd like to begin the experiment. What you're now seeing is the computer registering the presence of each person. To make identification easier, I've labeled the people, or points from where the colors emanate. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once the computer picks up the voice presence of a person, it'll process the data in shapes and colors. But right now, the participants don't yet know enough about one another to fill their words with emotional content, like or dislike, hence the neutral colors.
So each point on the screen is a person in the room, and the patterns are how their conversations are taking place?
Yes, it's actually the computer-interpreted spoken word. Here we have our first real interaction. 1 is sensing that 4 is equally dominant in the conversation, so 1 treats 4 with a little competitive respect and jealousy, hence the green. Now 3 is responding to whatever's being said. 1's drawing all the attention now. Fascinating. That's a word uttered in surprise, like what or really, but it holds no anger, hence the white. Well, there we have our first conversation link. Let's see how long it lasts. Amazing. One just said something which weakened the link between 5 and 3. Those arrows indicate jealousy and anger. And 2 seems to be the empathetic type, trying to comfort 5 and 3 for their broken link. And 1 still seems to have some sort of issue with 4.
What's going on with all the blue around 4?
It's some sort of defensive posture against 1. But there's no retaliation. And that gray tinge represents fear. How strange. There's a lot of fear and anger going on here.
I think you should stop this experiment. Stop the test.
Yes.
So you say you didn't know the couple all that well?
No, sir. They're referred to me by my friend Paul. I think they lived in the same building and met them maybe once or twice before.
And the murder victim, your friend Paul. How long have you known him?
We went to college together, so at least 5 years. I had no idea he was having an affair with a wife.
So I take it that you didn't know the suspect, Mr. George Stanley, all that well.
No, sir. Like I said, I'd met him maybe once or twice before today.
All right, well, thank you. That's all the questions I have for now. If I think any more, I'll try and reach you here at the lab. Ma'am, thank you.